Everybody, I want to do a review today on this knife here. This is the Benchmade Crooked River. This is the one with the diamond wood handle. They make one with the gray G10, so if you know anything about these, you'll know that. So let's get on into this, because this thing is pretty awesome. First off, let me say thank you to my buddy who lent this to me to have a look-see. I wish it was mine. It is not. There may or may not be one on the way. However, very cool him. Let me check this out. And in fact, if I hadn't had this in hand, I probably wouldn't order the one that's on. May or may not be on the way. Okay, I've been looking at this knife probably since it came out. And I like Benchmade. Benchmade was the first, higher end production kind of knife that I paid for. I think I paid $150 for one of their automatics. And so that was my first kind of expensive knife for me. And I like Benchmade. I kind of went off the ZT direction for a little bit, and I've been in the cold steel direction for a year or so now. But this knife is just something else. It just feels awesome. But I'm going the wrong direction. Let's start over. Let's start with the blade. You have 4 inches on this clip point of S30V steel. So you got some pretty good steel there. High-end steel. And that thing just opens nice. There's no anything on this knife. No play, no whatever. Just locked up. Solid action. Flicks open sweet like a lot of Benchmades do. But the thing I like about this knife is just the way it feels in my hand. It just feels like I don't have to over close my hand, and my hand's not overly open. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but some knives you just kind of say, well, it's just a little bit off, or this is just a little bit too thin, or this knife feels perfect in my hand. And really getting this thing in hand is what sold me on this knife, because it's fairly expensive, $195, $200 knife. You think twice about possibly getting one, or you're not entirely sure. I'll tell you what, if you're on the fence, go find one and put it in your hand, and you'll realize this thing is something else. So you have these diamond wood scales. Diamond wood is, I was reading up on it, is laminate, hard pressed together, resin together wood that they make, scales. So it's very sturdy. It looks really pretty. I could have got the gray G10 one, but I kind of like the wood look there. So it's nice. You got aluminum bolster here. I really like that safety orange around the pivot. You got this safety orange backspacer. I suppose that'll help you find it for whoever's taking this out in the woods. I'm not. I'm going to take it out and show my friends when they come over to the house. But I don't think this is going to be going into the woods with me whatsoever. However, I will be sticking the safety orange lanyard on there just in case. I would hate to lose something like this. The thing is, this thing would be seriously, it feels kind of like a buck. You know that buck feel, just like you could do something with it. Buck was my first knife as a kid, so this kind of feels bucky to me, that wood feel to that handle and stuff. So you got the aluminum bolster. You got the milled out liners. It's semi-open construction, open enough to get in there and clean all the hog flesh or whatever you got to do to get out of there to clean your knife up. Like I said, this thing is just locked up solid. And getting back to the grip, I don't know if y'all have felt, let's just say, here's another Benchmade I have, which I love. I love this thing. This thing's a tank. But when you grab this, it's just a block. It feels pretty good. And you know this thing's not going to break. And if you watch any of the videos, there are some videos out there of them people trying to destroy this knife. And this knife holds up really well. But this just feels, and I know they're two different type of knives. I know one is more of a elegant kind of a hunting type knife, and this one's more, hey, I'm going into a combat situation, I need something that's never going to fail me type knife. This thing's awesome. You know what? I take back any bad things I've said about this. This thing's a beast. This is one of those knives you just kind of got to hold on to. Check it out. But anyways, that's a great knife. And then I have another Benchmade. This is the Bedlam. This feels pretty good in my hand. It's just a little bit, I don't know, something about it. Maybe it's the weight on a couple of these knives. Let's check out the weight real quick. I think the Benchmade Crooked River is right in the 5 range, if I remember correctly. Let's check that out. Yeah, 5.26, 5.2, right around there. Not too bad. See the Bedlam? This thing is cool, isn't it? Man, I would love to test this thing on some. I just like the way that looks. I need to send that in and get it fixed, though. See, that's 2 ounces more, you know, for a 4-inch blade. So that's a little bit heavy for me. 7 ounces, not too horrible. I mean, I've carried heavier. And then this one comes with a sheath, but this one's pretty heavy too. Let's check that out. Yeah, 7.76. This thing's awesome. If y'all haven't had one of these and you're wanting to check out a huge knife, this thing is really strong. Anyways, back to this knife. So, it's got a really generous lanyard hole here. And when I get mine in, I'm going to stick something orangey off the end of that, just to match this. Ooh, I wonder if I could find like an orange glow in the dark. That would be awesome. And it's got the reversible clip, so you can go left, right with this thing. Of course, the axis lock on the Benchmade makes the Benchmades ambidextrous, which is really cool. Starting to like Benchmades again. I don't know. I have a couple Benchmades to look at, but I really like this knife. I was just sitting there. I'd heard that he got this. They sent me a picture of it about a month or so ago saying that he got this. And so I was really impressed because he's a super outdoorsy guy. I mean, guns and knives and death-dealing instruments. One of those kind of guys. Just you know, the zombie apocalypse comes, you're heading over to his house to ride it out until they find the cure. So I heard that he got this knife, and I finally got over to his house last week, and he let me check it out, and oh, it was instant love. I mean, I couldn't let it go. He had to pry it from my hands, Charlton Heston style. I felt embarrassed, but you know, this is the way it goes. Then he was really kind enough. He knows I have a YouTube channel, and he was kind enough to let me borrow it and check it out. I had to bring it back within 24 hours, or I forget what the rules are. I'll have to call him. We'll see. You know, maybe we could work something out. I'm not sure. But very cool of him. Very nice knife. Very awesome knife. This is right up there. This is one of those type of knives that I'm not going to sell. One of the last knives I'll sell if the plumbing fails on me or something. But just one of my favorites. So I can't wait to get mine in. So, not that I'm going to treat it any differently. They're all going to go in the safe and be looked at and, you know, touched a little bit, and that's about it. Alright, I think I've gone over everything. Let me see. Like I said, it's about 190 bucks you can get these things. I think I've seen them used for about 170. I won't tell you the price I got on mine. It'll hurt your feelings. But it was a good deal. Let's see here. No. This is from their blue class, even though it's in a brown box. It comes from their Hunt series. Like I said, there's one with gray G10, which I liked, but I kind of like this woodsy look a little bit better. Try the Adamas. If you haven't, just go grab one of these things. You can find these on the forum, Blade Forum, and I've seen it for about 130, you know, 125. And if you're looking for something that's never ever going to stop on you, it's kind of like a, I don't know, just, if you told me Cold Steel made this knife, just a destroyer of worlds, I would not be surprised. This thing's just a beast. And the axis lock, and if you could find the auto version of this, is just most powerful auto I've ever felt. Just whack, just whacks open, tries to jump out of your hand. And of course there's the Bedlam. I think I've done some testing on this thing. This thing is pretty awesome as far as cutting and slicing. And I'll tell you what, if you can't afford this one, and shh, don't tell anybody because there's somebody gonna be mad. But the Ganzo, there's a Ganzo version of this. It's a little bit smaller in the handle, but it gives you the same kind of idea of what you're gonna be doing with this thing. But don't tell anybody because I don't want to get anybody angry. I hear there's some angry people going around. Alright, so I think that's about it. Thank you again to my buddy. I really appreciate it. Give me a chance to look this over, review this for you guys. Man, this 4 inches of S30V, that's so cool. That's a great knife, just a great knife. Alright, I'm tired of rambling. I mean, I'm sure you're tired of me rambling, so let me make sure everything's good. Like here, subscribe here. Let me knock the camera around here. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Do you have any of these blades? What do you think? How do they compare if you've handled them before? And I think I will talk to y'all later.